This is Bob Clem. Welcome to the Beach Volleyball Hall of Fame. Started playing beach volleyball at State Beach, moved into Santa Monica Canyon in the mid-50s. Just loved the beach, moved from Denver, Colorado, and was just so enthralled with the sand and the beautiful ocean, the Bay of Fog, Santa Monica. On the weekend, there was tournaments, and the first time I remember walking to a tournament and watching Randy Carter and Ron Von Hagen playing Mike Bright in O'Hara. And I was just captivated by the athletics in the game and the competitive nature of those teams trying to beat one another. It was fierce. Decided I wanted to play. And of course, the whole process of getting to A court when Gene Selznick, Ronnie Lang, and the great players were all competitive at State Beach. My biggest inspiration, I believe, were the teams at that time that were winning. I lived with Gene Selznick in the Hollywood Hills and worked at the restaurant that he was running, and he became a mentor. But I was introduced through Gene Selznick through a guy named Jack Henn, who was a wonderful, very smooth, gifted player from San Diego, who turned out to be the coach of our National Volleyball Collegiate Championship team and the first Chart House, AAU and USVBA championship team. And Jack introduced me to Gene Selznick, and I was enthralled with Gene's charisma, and his ability in volleyball was next to none. So that kind of started me off. And in between the basketball and then trying to be better at volleyball, it was a constant love of the game, and was around some terrific players. The Bryce, the O'Hares, the Langs. And then along came Larry Rundle out of nowhere. And Larry, was a tactician, a wonderful self-made athlete. He had athletic skills, but he honed them to a refined tee. He really was inspiring in terms of his will to win and how he could be so positive about it. I mean, he literally told me the first time we played together, we're going to win this thing today. But he said it in a way that is so believable, and you know what? We went out and did it. Boy, first rating, I don't think the rating system was out when I started playing. I don't remember being single A or double A. I never had that process. I remember trying to get to A court and stay on A court without going to the sidelines and waiting another 3 hours to play. So in between games, I would be running and trying to get exercise in order to make me stronger, and then it just is a process of playing with the right individuals. And Gene was he was a mentor. I mean, he did like to teach the game and had a lot of great things to say. So he helped out at State Beach. And then pretty soon, when you're not getting skunked and you're holding your own, and the next thing you know, you're in a dogfight. And the whole trick is to beat the best. And that was State Beach. And then it moved down to Sereno, and the hotbed, changed to Sereno Beach. And the best players were playing there. So everyone showed up in the morning, early, and games would start, and it would go till sundown. Wonderful era in the sport. Beside having yourself as your toughest opponent, because there are so many things you have to do to be a winner, you know. So I think my toughest opponent was Ron Von Hagen and Henry Bergman. The tenacious quality and the skill of their game and the power in their game, they certainly were the toughest opponents I think we had to play. Had to play our best to beat them. Oh, you know, my favorite partner is the one that got us to the finals. You know, I played with some great ones. I mean, Ronnie Lang, smooth as silk, tenacious, had all the tools. Played with Selznick, just a world beater and the best in the world at the time I played. Von Hagen. I mean, how can you? Von Hagen was really an inspiration for me as well. I mean, I carried a bag of nuts around and drank tea out of a jar because it got him where he was doing it, and it worked. Larry Rundle, you know, inspiration only because there a short period of time we dominated for the summer. We did what we said we were going to do, and then both went our separate ways. Short, sweet, and very impactful. There isn't a beach I don't like. What I miss most in the Midwest is the smell of the salt air. I mean, I never thought I could move away from the sand after 45 years. But proud to be a part of the history of volleyball. Certainly in my world, and also to meet the individuals that were competing in that world, who changed the sport, who gave it its life. Wonderful experience, wouldn't change a thing. I would have to say the '71 Manhattan Beach Open, only because of the magnitude of the Manhattan Beach Open itself. It was the big kahuna. It was the championship, really, for beach volleyball. And entered that day in '71 where we hadn't finished the Laguna Open the week before. So both teams, and I believe it was Imwali and Gage, that in Laguna, it came to a standstill and got so dark that we decided we were going to finish it the next weekend. So Saturday morning, we went on an outside court and played for the finals of the Laguna Open, and then beat Von Hagen and Bergman in the finals for the Manhattan Beach Open. And I remember well, in between, before the finals starting, walking up to the market at the top of the hill for a banana or something to eat for energy. And I walked by the bar that's right next to the market, and the first man walked on the moon. You know, that was pretty inspirational. So that weekend probably was the biggest one. But the one tournament I remember so much was 1966, when I had flown to Hawaii as a high school gift, graduation gift. Walked down to the Outrigger Canoe Club, which was brand new base at Diamond Head, and said, "I'm from the mainland, I'm Bob Clem, and I'd like to play in your tournament, but I don't have a partner." And they, through some discussion, hooked me up with a guy named Mike Holmes. Mike Holmes was a avid paddleboard, canoe, Aquaman, they called him, and he became my partner. We ended up winning the tournament, beating Velasco and Haynes, who were the Island A team at that time, and it really taught me something. You know, I mean, in that environment, to meet someone new and learn to win, it was a wonderful inspiration. So that's '66 Hawaii State Open doubles. That was probably the second one. Boy, I'll tell you, if you've got the passion and you're willing to work for it, to become the best you can be. Not everyone can be, when you're competing against physical talent like Loyola, you can still compete with your head and your brain. And so that you don't have to be the most physical, you don't have to be the best athlete, you just got to want it more than they do. And so I think that practice hard, play hard.